Steel the size of a city block, a runway floating in the middle of the ocean, and a price tag of $13 billion. The most expensive war machine ever built doesn't hide in the shadows. It sails openly across the seas. But the question that refuses to sink is this: is it actually worth it? This is the beating heart of modern naval power. And before we step inside, make sure you're subscribed to Sea Warfare Explained, because here we go beyond headlines and dive deep into the machines that quietly shape global power. From a distance, the Supercarrier doesn't even look real. Stretching longer than 3 football fields, towering 20 stories above the waterline, it displaces more than 100,000 tons of steel and technology. When it moves, the ocean seems to shift around it. It is not just a ship, it is a floating air base, a command center, a moving fortress. But how do you put a price on something like this? $13 billion is just the beginning. That number only builds the hull, the flight deck, the reactors, the electronics. It does not include the air wing, the advanced fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, electronic warfare planes, each worth tens of millions more. It does not include the escort ships that form a protective ring around it. It does not include the thousands of sailors who live and work aboard. So why does a nation spend this much on a single vessel? Step onto the flight deck at dawn. The ocean is endless. The wind cuts sharply across the surface. Below your feet, 2 nuclear reactors hum deep within the ship's core, giving it the ability to sail for more than 2 decades without refueling. No fuel convoys, no dependency on foreign ports, just raw endurance. That endurance is power. With catapults capable of launching fighter jets in seconds and arresting wires that catch them midair upon landing, the Supercarrier turns the ocean into sovereign territory. Anywhere it sails, air superiority follows. But here's the twist: power at this scale also creates vulnerability. Because when something costs $13 billion, losing it would not just be a military disaster, it would be a national trauma. Inside the island tower, radar screens glow in dimly lit rooms. Air traffic controllers guide pilots through shifting winds. Combat information centers track threats hundreds of miles away. Every movement is calculated, every signal analyzed. A carrier never sails alone. Destroyers, cruisers, submarines. They form a layered shield of missiles and sonar designed to intercept threats long before they reach the hull. And yet, modern warfare is evolving. Hypersonic missiles now travel faster than 5 times the speed of sound. Submarines grow quieter. Drones swarm in numbers unimaginable a decade ago. Critics argue that the Supercarrier is becoming a giant target in a world of precision weapons. So is this floating city a relic of the past, or still the ultimate symbol of dominance? To answer that, you have to understand what it represents beyond firepower. When a Supercarrier enters a region, diplomacy changes. Tensions shift. Allies feel reassured. Adversaries recalculate. It doesn't have to fire a single shot to influence events. Its presence alone speaks. During humanitarian crises, its helicopters deliver supplies to devastated coastlines. Its medical facilities treat the wounded. In war, its aircraft can launch strikes within hours of arrival. No need for foreign bases, no need for permission. It brings mobility that land bases simply cannot match. But mobility comes with immense complexity. Below deck, more than 5,000 sailors operate like the organs of a living organism. Engineers monitor reactors. Technicians service jets in tight hangars. Cooks prepare thousands of meals daily. Every day at sea is a coordinated dance of precision and discipline. A single mistake on the flight deck can cost lives. When jets launch at night, flames erupt from engines, illuminating the dark ocean in brief bursts of orange. The roar is deafening. Pilots accelerate from 0 to nearly 200 miles per hour in just seconds before. Being thrown into open sky, it is violent, controlled chaos. And every launch burns through money. Maintenance is constant. Saltwater corrodes metal. Advanced systems require upgrades. Over its lifetime, a Supercarrier may cost more than double its original price tag. So again, is it worth it? Some defense analysts argue that spreading funds across smaller ships and unmanned systems would create a more flexible fleet. Others insist that nothing can replace the psychological and operational weight of a Supercarrier strike group. Because war is not only about technology, it is about perception. Imagine a crisis unfolding thousands of miles from home shores, no air bases nearby, no friendly territory. In that moment, a Supercarrier can arrive within days, bringing dozens of strike aircraft and command capabilities. that speed can prevent escalation or enable decisive action. But if the unthinkable happens, if a missile penetrates the defenses, the consequences would echo globally. That tension between dominance and vulnerability defines the modern supercarrier debate. It is both a symbol of unmatched strength and a test of strategic wisdom. Nations watch closely. Rivals study every design choice, every deployment pattern. Building such a vessel is not just engineering. It is a declaration. Inside its steel walls are technologies still classified. Radar, SIS, TEMS that track stealth aircraft, electronic warfare suites that jam incoming threats, defensive missiles ready within seconds, layers upon layers designed to make the impossible survivable. And yet, no defense is perfect. The ocean remains unpredictable. Weather shifts, political landscapes change faster than fleets can reposition. Warfare evolves. But here's something rarely discussed. Supercarriers are not built for today's conflict alone. They are built for decades of unknown futures. Their size allows upgrades, their decks adapt to new aircraft generations. They are platforms of evolution. So perhaps the true question isn't whether $13 billion is worth it today. Perhaps the real question is whether a nation can afford not to have one. Because in a world where influence travels at the speed of sound and crises ignite overnight, the ability to project power without borders may be priceless. As the sun sets behind the vast silhouette of this floating fortress, one thing becomes clear. The supercarrier is more than steel and aircraft. It is a message carved into the ocean, a statement of reach, resolve, and readiness. Whether it remains the king of the seas or becomes a giant of a fading era will depend on the wars of tomorrow. But for now, when that massive deck cuts through open water, it carries with it a simple truth. Power at sea still shapes the world. And the debate over its cost is really a debate over how nations choose to secure their future.